Just if you can, pop out and get either a small towel or blanket that you'll be able to roll up. Roll up, roll up. And if you haven't got a strap would be great too. Oh, and do bring along a pelvis and a sternum with some ribs. If you can bring those along, that would be fabulous. And as soon as you have the blanket or towel, you might roll that and put it as a support behind your back. I hope that your chair is nice and sturdy. And maybe you don't need that blanket or towel behind your chair, or rather behind your back. But it'll give us just a little sensory perception and maybe make sitting tall for some of you just that little bit easier. We're going to be using it for something else shortly. In fact, we'll be using it as a ball bearing. A towel is a ball bearing, it can be. So I hope that you're able to settle in and feel your feet onto the ground, maybe wiggle the toes a little. Feeling the skin at the bottoms of the feet going wrinkle, wrinkle, and the toes wiggle, wiggle. And then let the toes gently rest. And perhaps if you have the blanket or towel, you can feel your back now pressing against that. And what that feels like, is it soft, fluffy, crushable, firm? And as your eyes are facing forward, you can't see that. But even if you've never felt the towel with your hands or seen it, your back of your body can feel what that feels like. And perhaps you can feel your sitting bones pressing down in the chair. And with the press down of the sit bones, feel that the soft inner body can lift. And as soon as I do that, I actually feel myself moving a little away from the towel. So there's even more potential for sitting tall than you might have initially thought. And then the arms rest softly on the shoulder girdle. The hands can be on the lap for a moment. Feeling energy rising from your very seat all the way up through the crown of your head. Then we can begin to observe the breathing. I wonder if you can see, as you breathe in, there is expansion happening somewhere in your body, anywhere, somewhere. An outward movement, or an upward movement, or a downward movement. And then when you breathe out, can you sense that in the opposite direction? So what came down is now going up, or what came up is now going down. So for example, you might feel that in your seat, you're feeling there's a slight spread out, downwards and out. And when you breathe out, that is a slight drawing inward and up. Or perhaps you feel that your heart gently lifts up as you breathe in and softens down as you breathe out. Super. So we'll just lift the shoulders with the breath in, let them lift, rise up. And exhale, let them softly melt down. Releasing any of the day's tensions. Shall we do that and enjoy that again? Breathing in, letting the shoulders rise. And exhale, letting them sink down. And maybe even the arms can flop to the sides, and that feels even more relaxing as we do that again a couple of times. Breathing in, shoulders rise, gliding. And breathing out, letting the shoulders slide down your back. Breathing in, rising. And breathing out, descending. Let's let the shoulders roll up and back and down. And as you do that, still feeling that the breath is moving in your body. And perhaps you're noticing, if you have the towel behind you, how your back shifts towards and away from the towel. So it's a mini massage. Super, we can go in the other direction. And then we'll give it a boost bonus of massage with one hand onto a shoulder. Put your hand onto the fleshy part rather than the bone. I've got a thumb pressing against the neck. And then we'll roll that shoulder while we squeeze. So squeeze as the shoulder lifts. And you might enjoy a sigh. As the shoulder releases. Releasing all of the tension that might be stuck in there from our worries. But perhaps thinking more positively that we're letting in a positive flow, blood flow, lymph movement, and just water between cells and around cells. That feels so nice. I'm going to give a little tap to that arm as we move the arm. You can feel the joints move, your wrist, your elbow, your shoulder. And shake that arm out. Let it lean a little and swing to the side like a pendulum, so it's getting longer, like taffy. It's just stretching in gravity. Oh, I like that. Get rid of that tension, it's going. And then let's see if we can use the momentum from the pendulum and let it rise up. And then down and up, and just feel the lightness of the arm, very fluid, very sweet and soft. Let's rest that arm and just compare the movement on the other side. And does it feel as light and natural? It's a little more unwieldy on this side. I can do it, but I want to feel as good as on that side. I hope you're with me. I'm doing these gentle awareness techniques using touch, little massage with the movement. So you're putting your hand onto the flesh, and we've got our trapezius muscles here. They're known terrorists in the body. So let's be kind to them as we roll the shoulder and squeeze and squish. We can use our breath to release tension, like I'm tense. And then I let it go. And enjoying the joy of the touch of your flesh. It's good, making it tender, comfortable. So we move our body healthily and free. Okay, we're going to tap that arm as we move the joints, fingers, wrist, elbow, shoulder. Waking up proprioceptors that help to release tension. In a different type of movement, you let the arm go by the side and then let it swing. So be careful not to try to move your arm too much, but just as you would a Newton's cradle or even a swing with a child, pushing a child, there's a certain momentum that you don't have to actually use any muscular force. So it's easy and free. And then we'll use that momentum to whoosh the arm, whoosh, up we go. We did it. Lower the arm down, and then lift and lower the arm just a couple of times and feel its lightness and the comfort of moving within the joint. It's nice and easy. And the flow of breath. I'm do one more because it feels good. Yeah, I was watching one of you lovely ladies, I can't see your name, moving that arm several more times than I commanded. Good job. I'm glad that you want to do that, right? I like moving my arms, great. So I hope you've got your towel. If you don't have your towel, don't worry about it. A towel or blanket that's rolled up. And we're going to use that to sit on. That'll give us a less stable surface. And we want to get our sit bones on the towel. And as soon as I'm on there, I'm going to fidget and give a little lift and like a nudge out of, I have a pelvis with me today, so I can show you what I'm doing. I'm kind of nudging out a sit bone, a sit bone, a sit bone, a sit bone. And I hope you're doing that. And of course, in here, you've got your pelvic floor muscles, and you're giving them a little bit of an awakening, a little bit of a stretch. Yeah, and sometimes it might want puffing up again if we flatten it too much, or if it's too hard, you might want to lower it a little. Now let's find our center, and we really are perched on our lovely sitting bones. So hands onto the lap, and we'll move in a bit of, actually, no, let's not put our hands on our lap. Let's put our hands onto our pelvic crests even better. So those big kind of elephant's ears at the side, we can put our hands onto there and feel some movement going on. I said we're like on a ball bearing. So if we take the tail back and tilt the wings forward, and then do a little back, going back the other way. Feel yourself tilting your pelvis forward and then tucking your tail. Take your tail back and tilt a little forward and then come back. And you've got a bit more scope to move as you do this on the towel or blanket, but you can do it just on the chair. Can you feel you've got that little bit more room to go back and then forwards? So we're kind of in a cat and cow. So if you prefer to put your hands on your legs, you can do that. But moving into cat and cow, exhaling, you can really push your back into the back of the chair and bring your tail forwards. Inhale, tail goes back, arching the back. Enjoy moving them back and forth a few times with your breath. Feeling this lovely stretch into the belly as the back muscles work. And then in stretching into the back as the belly muscles work. Or perhaps you can feel that the pelvic floor is doing its work, stretching, and then lifting. We're going to add some arm movement to this if you like. We're going to fly. So letting the arms open out as you come up. A breath of freedom here. Exhale, wrap around, tuck in, folding in. Inhale, open, flowing open. Exhale, folding in. Inhale to open. And exhale to fold. And maybe you crisscross your arms in the opposite direction too. Which way are you folding your arms? Which is on top? Feel like you've got this lovely fluidity through your back, your belly. Couple more. Lovely. Then coming all the way back, and we're sitting on our little roller. I think I want to pad mine up just that little bit. So that'll create a little bit more instability in the seat, but it's also a really nice way for those who've got knee issues to get up and down out of the chair. Speaking of knee issues, let's just wake up this area and see if we can explore that. So give a rub or a tap, or a rub and a tap across to your thighs. And we've got these lovely quadricep muscles here, big, strong muscles. And they feed in with a big ligament over your knee, containing your knee bone, your patella, down to just below here into your shin. We can feel that in action if we just kick out a leg and say, oh yeah, I could just feel that twang underneath my underneath my hands. That's pretty nice, good strong muscles. And then just go a little back and forth, folding and rubbing down over your knees and your shins. That feels good. Excellent. And then coming back up, and if you've got the towel very much at the edge of your chair, that means the angle for your knee joint is not as deep an angle as if I don't have it. Like my knees would be higher up like that. Well, not quite so high, but something like that. But now the angle is a little bit more accommodating to be able to get up, because we're going to do some sit to stand here. And as long as your knees are happy, this is just that easier way for you to get up and down, I think. And I've had some 80-year-olds that I teach that say, I can do this 20 times with a towel, but I can't only do it, maybe twice if I don't have a towel. So let's see if that is true, because, well, should we get up 20 times? I don't know. We can get up 10 times, right? So, nice relaxed deeply shoulders, arms nice and soft by the side, so we're not using our shoulders to get up and like, oh my God, it's a panic. So for those who don't want to get up, again, you can do this little hinging back and forth and then maybe lifting the feet. Otherwise, we're going to do our 10 times getting up and down out of the chair. It's pretty healthy for you, as long as your knees are happy. Let's do it. Let's get up. Whee! Oh, yeah, nice and easy. I hope you can feel that little bit of difference. And then look behind you and check if you want to roll the towel a little bit more. And the reason I did that is I wonder if you're going to do that, which way did you turn? See, I always turn to the left. Know which way your favorite way is to turn. Okay, we got 9 more to do. Let's get on with it. Nice and slowly down. And up we go. Nice and light. Beautiful. Nice and flat across here now. And then we find the crease, down we go. And number 8. And we're going to speed it up now. 7. Can you do it quickly? Can you do it again? And 6. And again, nice and fast. And 5. One more with speed. Okay. The last one's here. We're going to go slowly, slowly, slowly. Ba-bum, ba-bum. And a little slowly coming up. Slow motion. Slow motion to come down. Breathing. Don't forget your breath. For those who'd like to, you can lift the arms up with this one. And arms float down, down we go, nice and slow. And then with the last one, we're going to come up we go. And maybe open out through the arms and enjoy a little stretch. So we're going to do some standing, like opening with breathing, but we will use the towel again under our feet. Oh my, oh my, oh my. So you want to keep your towel roll handy for some stuff with the feet. And they'll enjoy a lovely massage. But I think it's great to get our breathing going. So standing nice and tall, feeling the energy rising through the center of your feet, through the center of the knee, finding the center of your pelvic floor, so your center of your base, up through the crown of the head. Are you standing tall but easy? Did that help? I don't know if that helped. Now, take a few little bends of the knee, a few little bends, and then loose and pliable, so there's a bounce to you, a little bounce. And you're going to use that power of the earth pushing into you for moving the arms. Is that possible? I think it's possible. So we'll take the hands back to back, find the little bend, push away from the earth, and then let that power the arms up and open all the way out to the sides. That feels so nice to me. Shall we try it again? Breath in and out. And again, push from the earth. Breath in and out. And then if you want to look up as the arms come up. And again. We can move our arms in the other way as we breathe in. Shall we try it? So from out to the sides, breathing in, reaching up, look up. Exhale, bring the arms back into center. Look down at the hands. Let's try it again. Breathing in and out. And again, breathing in and out. Lovely. Release the arms back down. So we'll move a little in space, a little more. Do what you can do. Arms coming forward this time, breathing in. Exhale, begin to fold, hinge. Let your hands come to wherever they can, the thighs or further down, so you're folding forward. Hinge to wherever's comfortable for your back and your knees. Pause and settle in. Is this doable for you? If you want to go lower, go a little lower. And then we get that nice inversion for your head. But pay attention. Does it feel good? Can you breathe? Feeling that expansion and contraction as you breathe. The power's in your legs. Pull the energy through your feet. Bend a little. Push the earth away and coming all the way up. Rising up. And exhale and folding forwards. Again, to where you want to go. It could be hands onto the legs. It could be hands to the shins. Hands touch the toes. I don't know. Take a breath or two here. Can you feel expansion and contraction? A widening and a narrowing. Feel the connection of your feet and your legs. Push the other way. We're coming all the way up again. Letting the arms rise. Lovely. Let's side bend toward the right. Inhale through center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale through center. Let's side bend again to the right. Pull the left wrist a little across. Inhale, center. Exhale to the side. Inhale, center. Exhale, let's bring our arms into goal post arms. Feel that nice width across your chest. Turn your head toward the right and check out the alignment of your hand over your elbow and in line with your shoulder. You don't have to pull or yank anything into place, but just check out how it looks. Then you can turn the head in the other direction. Let your breath flow. Just check out. We got a nice angle of wrist over elbow, elbow to shoulder. Turn the head to center. Take that little bend into your knees, but don't move your knees as you do this. We're going to clock twist the whole body to the right. So twisting the rib cage, the upper spine, the head. Take a breath in also here. Come back in through center and take that to the other side. Are your knees trying to twist? They don't need to. You're turning your ribs and your spine and your head and your eyes. And breathe in. Super. Coming all the way back into center. Reach your arms up and climb a rope. So you're reaching. And then you can start to move your feet a little bit, like let your heels lift. Be a little bit active here. Getting the arms brachiating. We don't do this enough through the day, right? We should go hang from a tree. Fantastic. And let it all shake out a little bit. So there's a balance challenge coming here, and it's up to you if you want to be behind a chair. I'm not going to do that right now, but you check it out. We're going to shake out and maybe shake out a leg. So if you need a chair, you use a chair. Shift it and maybe you shake a leg on the other side. If you want to shift a little back and forth for mini shakes. Super. Fantastic. And we're going to put the arms up and shake a little bit. Fantastic. So we're all a little crazy and getting ourselves energized and into the happy zone. This is not to be a place to be miserable with your arms like this. All right, let it come down. Just give yourself, 10 seconds to observe your body, your breathing, your energy level, mood, the tingles. Feels good. I hope that feels good. We're going to use the towel, and here it might be useful to have your chair not too far away, because we're going to use the towel for some balance. So on your rolled up towel, we're going to actually give ourselves a stand. Now, if you're standing on the towel, you perhaps just notice. We just had a little check-in. Do you, in a check-in here, do you feel there's a little bit less stability? You might notice yourself wobble a bit back and forth. So I can feel myself like hovering much more than if I was standing on flat ground. Turn back to your breath and see that that's supporting you. And then challenge number 1. This is great for blood flow to your brain, by the way. Can you roll your shoulders while you're breathing and on the towel? I'm like on a little rocker, going a little back and forth on the towel, but that's good. All right, I'll leave a little bit of a gap with the chair, so you can always hold on with one hand if you don't feel stable here. Keep a tiny bend into your knees, and let's see if we can do some of those like little sun salutations that we were just doing on the towel. So breath in, let the arms rise up, and open the arms out to the sides. And again, breathing in and out. Yeah. And out. Super. Maybe you feel yourself just that moving, shifting a little bit on the towel. It's okay as long as you don't feel too unsteady. Do the arms out to the side, breathing in. Fingers reach up. Maybe you look up. Exhale, fingers coming back down to the heart. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, hands to the heart. We'll do it again and see if you can follow your hands with your eyes. It's extra balance challenge. Exhale, hands to heart, eyes down. Super. Release the arms by the sides, keep giving yourself that little hold. I love it when people do more. I love that. It's so good. So, little bend to the legs. We're going to sweep the right arm in front and up and back behind. And again, up in front and back behind. Now, if you can, sweep it all the way up and draw a circle back and turn your head to follow your hand. And we can do that very gracefully, lightly. Are you breathing? Are you feeling yourself wobble a little bit on the towel? You can always hold if you need to. But enjoy the balance challenge. One more little hover, and back we come. So we'll move the arm in the next plane, it's called the frontal plane, sweep the arm across the body, and as if you were drawing a clock face, and you breathe as you'd like to breathe, maybe inhaling as you're lifting, exhale as you lower, but you can just breathe. But we know we're breathing. We feel ourselves breathing. And if you try to follow your hand with your eyes, do you notice how that shifts your balance more when you're on the towel? Okay, good. Last plane of movement, and that's our cross-body transverse. So the arms across the body, and we sweep it back behind, follow with your eyes, and then sweep it back. And again, we're watching the breath moving, enjoying our spine rotating, our arm in soft and easy motion. Super, you did it. So moving the arm in 3 planes, and I hope we're still managing on the towel. Now, my towel's getting a little bit flat, so I feel like I'd like to come up for a moment, just notice, oh, feet feel great, and then pad up just a little bit. Maybe you'd like to do that too. It gives an excuse to bend over, which is good for all of our joints. And then I hope we're ready to explore movement of the arm in all 3 planes while we have a balance challenge, boost to the brain. So you can just let the arm swing up and back, feeling nice and free in the shoulder. And then if it's okay, take the arm up and back, and behind you is your breath flowing. And then see if you can let the head follow the movement. So your eyes are watching your hand as you go back. And as soon as I do that, I feel that little hover as my head has to turn and my eyes adjust. And the breath flow as you do that, maybe 2 more times. Good, good, good. Super. I hope you're feeling that little shift of balance when the head has to move. That's the tricky bit. Then we'll go into the frontal plane, and that's where we draw like a clock face across the body and up and around. Now, it's going to be easier if you don't move your head, I think. But see if you can let your eyes follow your fingers and breathe. The first important thing is breathing while you do this. Oh, I'm like, I want to fall off. Ooh. Good, good, good. Then we're going to go into our last plane to take the arm across you. And this is like sweeping into a rotation. And back. If it's easier to do 1 breath per move to make sure you're breathing, you could do that. Or you're just watching your breathing, flowing. One more. Coming back into center. Okay, let's let the arms rise up. Take your side bend to the right. Coming in through center. Side bend to the other side. Coming in through center, bringing the arms into goalpost arms. Let's take our clock twist to the right. Make sure your knees are not twisting here. It's just your upper body. Find the breath. Come in through center and clock twist to the other side. Good. Come back in towards center. Come off the towel. Give things a shake out. And notice just standing on the ground how your feet feel, how your knees, your legs feel. Maybe, you just up the challenge a lot to make just standing so much easier. I feel very light and fluid through my limbs. So we're going to just give a little stretch with the towel. This is one I love. Again, you might want your chair there. And we want the towel, again, it's nice and plump. You can also do this, by the way, with a yoga mat that's rolled up. So I'm not going to mirror on this. I'm going to just say what I'm doing. I'm going to put my right foot, the heel's on the floor and the ball of the foot is on the towel. Okay, we're there. And then we're going to step the left leg across and over and bend into that leg. So what you've got now is a nice deep stretch all the way down the back line of your right leg. I think you probably feel. Probably. Find the breath again. Feel what you feel in your body. You feel strings being kind of pulled, but not so much that anything should hurt. Then we can let the arms rise up and take the right wrist and pull it a little across to the left as you press your right heel down. Anyone feel a little bit more going on? There's definitely more going on for me. If it's too much, ease off the pedal. Expansion as you breathe in. Can your ribs expand? Contraction as you breathe out. Okay, bring that down. Step it back off. So however you want to get off the towel. And we'll do the same on the other side. So you're putting the ball of the foot on the towel, the heel on the floor, and then stepping over to the dark side. The dark side, because some of you may feel that stretch all the way down the back leg, especially if you bend into the front leg a little more. And this is, like a lunge position, otherwise in yoga. Feel it, groove down with the back heel. And then if you'd like to add a little, notice how lifting the arms will change the pull, especially if you draw the left wrist a little bit across to the right. And you feel that lift of the torso away from the leg pulls onto some of the threads of the leg. Enjoy the breath, enjoy the moment, whatever it is. And it's always you that's the master of the control here to back off or to add more. Good. Let's bring the arms down. We're going to step it back, a balance challenge in itself. And then we're going to put both heels on the floor and both balls of the feet onto the blanket. So the heels are on the floor, so the feet are pointing up, basically. And again, if you feel unsteady, you've got the chair there. Then we are going to put the hands onto the thighs and your pelvis is going to widen across your sit bones. You're going to widen across your sit bones and take your tail back. Put the hands on the thighs if you like, widen across your bum. Maybe you can put your arms on the chair, and I've got the legs bent right now, but little by little, I'm going to see if I can straighten the legs out a bit more. You work with you here to experience that little bit of a stretching to where you can go today. It's going to be different for everyone. And really now we're in a kind of a downward dog, if you think about it. We're just, our inverted V isn't quite as inverted with our hands on the floor. But you might put your hands lower on the chair if that feels doable. See what you feel here. Go gently. Super. I'm going to bend into our legs again. Come all the way up. Maybe roll the shoulders a couple of times. Give it a shake out. And then we're going to kick out the towel and be rambunctious, a naughty kid. There's no, kids are not really naughty, are they? Mostly. They're just playing. They're learning how to press buttons, right? So we want the blanket in a tangled mess. So not a roll, but a tangled mess. And we're going to do our tree pose on the tangled blanket. So pick a side. If you know your favorite side, let that be perhaps the first one. So you come onto the blanket and let either toes touch into the blanket or the foot is onto a part of your leg. And I would recommend holding the back of the chair. I've got like peace fingers holding the back of the chair. And then find that tall position again. Energy rooting up through the crown of the head. Relax your shoulders, breathe. And then maybe you don't need to hold on as much or at all, but your foot is sensing the ground and adjusting your balance in micro moments with micro movements. And the micro movements might even be a little smile happening. Ooh, like, look at me. Oh, no. Okay, one more nice deep breath. And we let it go. And I want to kick it out a little bit because I don't want to anticipate anything on the other side. I want it to be a fresh, new experience and challenge for my brain. You really do get more blood flow to your brain when you give yourself challenges that you don't usually do. So I hope you're ready for the B side. If you're old enough to remember records, right? What's on the B side? What we got here? So let's see what we have. Try not to lock out in your hip joint, but keep a teeny bend, just a teeny little crease, teeny crease. So you'll use your leg muscles, maybe a couple of peace fingers, finding your breath, and then maybe exploring what this side has to offer. Sensing your postural sway, those little micro movements, trust them, breathe. And then when we're ready, we can let that gently dissolve. Shake it out. Again, you can do one leg and the other if you want to hold a chair to do that. Or you might play a little bit and see if you can shake out. Same side, arm and leg. And then opposite arm and leg. Whee! Because you can. And one day you can't. And then you can. And then we can bend down and take a towel or blanket and lightly fold that again into your roll. In case you would like that again as a back support for our last little bit of movement, which is a bit of breathing practice. And it's going to involve a tailbone that you never knew you had, maybe. So this is a sternum. You have one right here. And these are your ribs. And of course, they go on. But at the bottom of the sternum, you have a tiny little tailbone. It's called a xiphoid process, which means a sword. It's kind of like a sword. And once you've found yourself back into your seat nice and comfortable, you can feel for your sword. So you can stroke down the sternum. And I know if you're a lady, you've got these bosomy things, but hopefully you can find this little bone. And that when you breathe in, just like a cat flap opening, you feel that that goes a little bit out. And when you breathe out, feel that that goes in. It's a nice point of focus for 3 or 4 breaths and see if you can feel that movement. Moving out as you breathe in and in as you breathe out. It's swaying with the breeze of your breath. And then we can put our hands onto the sides of the ribs and maybe move out a little bit with the ribs here. And slush a little side to side or a circle or forward and back. And we're swaying our heart and lungs. And then sitting tall, see if you can feel the expansion here, like a bellows as you breathe in. And that closing as you breathe out. An expansion as you breathe in. And closing as you breathe out. And last but not least, we have a real south tailbone. If you are able to reach and find your tailbone, it's the very end point, that little tiny sword at the bottom there. And maybe you just touch there and feel that as you breathe in, that there's expansion, pushing the tail a little out. And when you breathe out, the little tail draws in and a little up. And then we can let go of all of that, put the hands softly onto the lap, perhaps with upturned palms ready to receive. And can you sense all of those points in expansion? The top tail at the base of your sternum, the ribs expanding out to the sides, and the tail going back. So we've got here, here, and tail going back as we breathe in. And let them reverse that action as you breathe out. And again, feeling expansion as you breathe in. Contraction as you breathe out, drawing in. Opening and expanding as you breathe. Drawing in as you breathe out. Super. We're going to stamp out the feet a little, shake out the hands, shake them up high, and spread the wings, roll the shoulders. And I hope that that little exploration with breathing has given you this nice openness and spaciousness and a calmness too for the day, to feel well and happy and in good form in your body. So it's a pleasure to see everyone today, and I hope to see you on, I think, the 18th. And enjoy your day and all your body bits, and let them move happily in movement and breathing. Namaste.